Good afternoon. How are you? Well, we get out today. Pretty chilly and pretty windy. Thomas Jefferson says the temperature is 52. I think he got that right. The humidity is 60. It does feel damp. There are clouds, but it doesn't look like rain. And the wind, as of about right now, is 16 miles an hour. And again, it's these trees on either side that block most of the wind. And I think I've told you this before. Historically, they would dig the roads into the landscape so that if you were standing in a field, you wouldn't see the roads, but also the roads are protected. So you also wouldn't build a house on top of a hill because you would lose the heat of the building and it would cool too fast. Okay, so that's more than you want to know. What do I think is the headline? There is a combination of the worst decisions and greatest cowardly behavior enwrapped in the Department of Justice. Let's face it, that was the first principle for Trump running again. His ego wouldn't suffer it, of course, but more than that, he saw looming before him custody. So, how are we doing on custody? Think of all the times that people haven't gone to trial when they could have gone to trial. Those of us who try cases know there are several cases. You can try a case thin, meaning as few witnesses as necessary on a clear case, intermediate, and then you can have a long case. And a lot of these cases are long, but by choosing, for example, in the federal court in D.C., only one defendant, Trump himself, Judge Chutkan had, it seems to me, some freedom to go forward, and everybody knew what the case was about. But it's like they shot blanks instead, delaying and not doing things. So, where do we stand? What's the collection that drives me crazy? Smith resigns. The judge continues sentencing with suggestions of maybe he won't be sentenced. And Trump is, by his counselors, let it be known in the press and the Post today, that he will conduct a fraud investigation of the 2020 election. So he's going to aggressively now go after people. Vengeance is mine. You heard him say it. Now, the hosts use words in this situation like they're going to unpack the facts. And if you state them well in the first place, you don't have to unpack anything. But they say that. But I'm not a host. I'm just having a casual walk on a windy, cold day among my trees. So here's how I would cut through and unpack the facts. Smith has no balls. The judge reads the room and his oath poorly. And Trump violates a first principle of conflicts. He has an outrageous stake in the outcome of the process that he's going to put in place with the people he's going to put in place to choose those who would then go after those who went after him. Huh? Now, Garland, I'll say this, I don't think he would ever let Smith proceed, best guess. But Smith didn't fight back either. Once again, one of these guys goes off, he's fighting injustice in the world, he comes home, we keep thinking he's going to do it, and he pulls a Mueller on us. He's just hot air. No fight, no guts. Now, the judge, he may be listening to past threats by Trump, and Trump could do what he did, who knows what he could do to the judge. Let's have him take a polygraph and see if that's a factor in what he's deciding. And Trump, because of this judge, is so far above the law as to say he is the law. Trump could tell him to pull down his pants in Macy's window and he'd probably do it. That's how bad the overriding, eager, wanna be a dictator Trump is. Now, it appears that if you were to squint and look at all the things that motivate Trump, the primary thing in his mind are his convictions and revenge and power. And there's no one on the ramparts remaining. They run for cover. The special counsel, not so special, he runs away. The judge, instead of judging, decides to judge not. Won't sentence, perhaps. Won't do anything. The overriding description of what we have, and what we may call it, is shame. Shame on you. Shame for taking a job you lack the guts and values to stay the course. That's it. That's what I think. And I don't know that there's much more to say, except to say how we're going to have a cleanup in Isle DC. And the answer is, men and women who've seen this will probably have more courage than those charged by oath and the job description to do what these people have failed to do. Of course, we've known from the beginning that Garland was dangerous. 2 years doesn't even lay a hand on Trump, and then finally only does it out of embarrassment because the January 6th committee does what it did. And I'd be glad to go on any stage with anybody to debate that point, because it's so manifest, so obvious that we got less than we deserve as a nation in these so-called public figures who have such great private concerns and fears that they can't do their job. So, with that, I offer you goodbye from the Cathedral of Trees, and I'll be out here tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.